Philly World, Philly Universe, Philly Galaxy. We in the building. It's your spot for your interactive hashtag Philadelphia Eagles talk. Eagles Elite Podcast. We bringing it to you live every week. So y'all know it's been a crazy week, right? A lot of injuries, some signings. Our own version of street clothes has done his thing. So many different things to talk about, right? But at the end of the day, what I want everyone to remember from me, right? And I'm sure my co-hosts agree with this, but from me, we're 2-0. So let's calm down, not burn up the ship. Let's not throw Molotov cocktails at the Eagles facility. Let's just chill. We still got time to improve and get better and be the team we want to be in a couple of weeks. Work definitely needs to be done. Not here to try to deny it. I'm not trying to act like the way we're playing right now, we can win the Super Bowl. But the way we're playing right now, we can be 2-0, and we are. So a little bit more of a challenge, I think, surprisingly, in Tampa Bay coming up this week. But hey, we the Eagles. And we got away from this a little bit the first couple of weeks of the season, and that's on me. But I want everyone to remember no one likes us, and we don't care. And with that being said, we go first drop in Eagles Diva. Diva, what it do?
What's going on, fam? We back for another week. Ready to talk about it.
You already know. And as always, that guy, Wyatt.
What's happening, Philly fans? You know, like you said, it's been a rough start to the season, but I mean, there's a whole rest of the season to go. There's a lot to fix here, but there's a lot of potential in this squad, as we know. So I'm ready to get into it.
You already know. And the comments, we got Funny Memes who says, hey, what's up, Funny Memes? We've got Sam Jess who says, let's go. Sam, you're supposed to be on the screen with us, and we're not going to let that go. Hashtag Fly Eagles Fly. And no one likes us, and we don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Sam,
right.
just in case you forget, you're supposed to be on here with us. I'm just saying. At least once. I'm just saying. Oh, man. But let's go ahead and get this party started. We got a lot to get to tonight, y'all. It's been a crazy week, and we're going to talk about all of it. But y'all know I got to get myself and everybody else hyped. So let's do the thing.
The kick is away, and the kick is it's good! And the Eagles win!
It's hard to come to South Philadelphia and leave here with the win. You just don't come to Philadelphia and leave here with the win.
Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you. Let the celebration begin.
So y'all already know what it is, man. We back. Got that little bit of hypeness out the way. So hey, we got to dig into it. So we're going to start like we always do with some Eagles updates. Now, we're going to be hitting the injuries later. We got a whole lot of non-injury related updates as well. So Wyatt, we know this is you. So what we got?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, so far we released linebacker Rashawn Evans less than a week after we scooped this dude up to put him on the practice squad. So he's gone already. Something we saw just didn't like about him. So we had to let him go. And we also released running back Trey Sermon, dude we've been talking about for weeks on weeks on weeks on weeks. We released him, and unfortunately he's been picked up by the Colts. So it looks like we're not going to be seeing Trey Sermon back unless they release him possibly. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
So I want to say, all this talk about Trey Sermon and he's this and he's that and he looks so great, and then we release him. That doesn't sound like somebody that you had a lot of faith in.
Not at all.
So Nick, you try to blow a little smoke up everybody's posterior cruciate ligament. Nobody bought it. We knew what it was. You didn't even want to play him, and we needed a big back, so everybody else already knew what it was. You released him. Somebody else came around somebody that knows him, a la what happened with another player from Philly that went to the Colts. Somebody knows him, and he's got opportunity there. So we'll see if there is anything happening with him at the new location. I'm glad Trey Sermon at least gets a chance to be somewhere where they may at least try to use him. You know, I
hopefully
feel
gets a
bad.
chance.
Yeah, when you don't use guys, I feel bad for them. I'm like, bro, you're just sitting here and they won't even give you a chance to get out onto the field and show what you can do.
Yeah.
To me, that's garbage.
You're straight.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of that. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of that. So, yeah, I'm glad he gets an opportunity, man. I hope he makes the most out of that. So I know we did have some signings as well. Did you get a chance to grab that info, Wyatt?
Yeah, we ended up signing a cornerback, Tawan Mullen, to our practice squad. He was on our practice squad early in September, but then we ended up releasing him. So we brought him back, of course, with everything we'll get into a little bit later. But of course, the Aaron Sipos era as an Eagle is over officially as of right now. Aaron Sipos has been released, and we have brought in ex-Steelers and Jets punter Braden Mann to the practice squad, and it's looking like he's going to be our punter for the foreseeable future at this moment. I mean, from what I've seen on the dude, he's been really decent. I mean, ever since he was kind of available in this offseason, everyone's been clamoring for Howie to go out and get him. So, I mean, it's about time.
Yeah, the Sipos era is finally over. The nightmare is done. So that's good. I mean, Sipos that's wrong. He's not a nightmare. He's just not good at his job. Right? He was not bad. He's just average. He was good enough to beat out somebody that was bad in camp, but he's not. He's just average.
Yeah.
You know, and it happens, man. You give guys a shot. Sometimes they work out. Sometimes they don't. So just glad. Now, important piece of information that I learned today doing some research here. One Mr. Sidney Brown played nickel corner in college.
Oh.
So
interesting.
Mr. Sean Desai. I understand we had to bring in another corner. I get it. Somebody gets hurt. Got to bring in somebody. But Mr. Desai, can we see if Sidney Brown still remembers how to play some nickel corner? Maybe we got us another little sneaky CJ imp in the piece. Can we try? Can we please? From the Eagles Elite Podcast, can we please give him a shot?
Yeah.
Mario Goodrich or Josh Joby. Please.
Really?
Please. He can't be the worst.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks to lose players like this, how we are, unfortunately, 2 weeks into the season, but it also gives our defensive coordinator and coaches some time to actually look at some of these guys that wouldn't get, a case to showcase their talents out on their field against other starters in the league, see what they're actually made of, opposed to actual preseason action. So, I mean, you kind of got to look at it from both directions here. So hopefully we can find out about like Sidney Brown or a couple of the other guys, what they are able to do here as starters in the league, and maybe see what we can do going forward through these next couple of years, keeping these guys as far as depth or maybe bumping them up to starters. Who knows?
Definitely. So I know we all about the interaction. That's what we do around here. So a couple of comments to go over. Sam says that intro is so sick. Hey, It is, man. We were lucky to get a nice fire intro. All right. And Philly said, what's going on?
Philly.
What's going on, Philly? And Sam says might be a candidate for the XFL if he isn't on the team heading into February. May not be on the team heading into February.
Yeah.
And Funny Memes says, hey again, what's up, Funny Memes?
What's up?
And then Sidney Brown should be playing all over, Sam says. Definitely should.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got the snowman in the building. Hey, hashtag Fly Eagles Fly.
Snowman.
Going on, Snowman?
And then Funny Meme says yes. So, trying to make sure I word these things I'm going to say properly, right? Because I don't want it to come off the wrong way. But I think we need to put the best players on the field. And I think Sydney's better than any of those other guys. If I was going to give someone outside of Sydney that opportunity, I would like for that person to be one Keely Ringo. I I would rather it be Sydney though because he has experience, but I do understand that also we're not that deep at safety, so it's kind of like, can we give it a shot? Maybe, but at the same time, mm, just because we do need the safety, especially with Blankenship out. Maybe if we get Blankenship back, which we have an opportunity, and we will talk about all those here in a few minutes, indeed. But it seems like you're ready for that. But we almost there. We almost there. And I'd love to just see people kind of switch around. We preach all the time. We've been preached to in all the press conferences and off-season interviews and everything. Versatility, people being able to play multiple positions. All right, so now it's time to play multiple positions. Let's get it. Ain't this what they've been practicing? Ain't this what they've been training for? So what's the problem? Let's get it. Can we see it? Because I mean, we really ain't seen it too much. The one thing I will say that I liked about Brian Johnson as the OC, besides of course the running the ball, is I have seen guys move around positions. I haven't seen AJ always on the what would be our left-hand side if we're looking at the defense, right? I've seen him in the slot a couple of times. I've seen him on the right. So I've seen more movement in the receivers, right? Now, if we want to talk about play calling, but I do like that particular piece. So I'm taking a positive out for now. But Brian Johnson, just keep watching. We're going to be talking a little bit about the other side too. And that week 2 review, we are.
I mean, they were listening last year. Maybe they'll listen this year.
Somebody
been sneaking in and listening. Hey, burner account, whatever. Just take the info. It's all good.
Yeah.
All right, so funny meme says, hey. And he says, how are y'all doing?
We're good.
Doing good. He's just doing our thing. And then Rod Uncensored says, what's up? And then Funny Meme says, see y'all, good night. I guess Funny Meme's got an early start in the morning. Nothing wrong with that. Appreciate you sliding in and checking us out. So yeah, man. So many other things we could talk about in the updates, but I'll just leave it like this. We should be better this week as far as personnel and depth than we were last week. And obviously we had to make some signings. We definitely need to make a move at punter. I think the area that still needs the most improvement is going to be special teams, right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's a guy that we keep putting on the squad. I don't understand why. I don't say this often, right? And y'all know I don't. Well, where Quez at? I'll take Quez.
Quez is hurt.
I know.
Yeah,
I'll take one shoulder Quez over Britton Covey. Give me one shoulder Quez. All you gotta do is give him some of that Patrick Mahomes Super Bowl juice, and I'll take one shoulder Quez over Britton Covey. How is this dude still on our roster? This is not fair. Are we seriously going to ask this dude to go out and play wide receiver in the NFL? Are we serious?
I hope not.
Why?
My guess is it's just kind of depth because Quez will probably miss this game. They want to start Zacchaeus, and they don't have really anybody backing him up, so they want to elevate Britton Covey, I guess. But I mean, you have way more talent during the training camp and everything. You have numerous guys you brought in that you could probably bring in to be that depth, especially a returner. Man, I'm done with Covey as returner. I mean, we've seen last year in these 2 games, I mean, which we'll get to, but like this dude's got to go.
I feel like we didn't have to see anything in 2 games this year. I get where you're coming from. You want to give him a little bit more time after training camp. But he didn't show me anything in the training camp. He didn't show me anything in the offseason. He definitely didn't show me anything last year. Like I said, I do not say this much. I'll take Quez over every day of the week.
It's like the same thing with Sipos. It's like you already knew like what you saw from this past year. Why give him just 2 games at the beginning of this year just to kind of confirm what you already knew about him? Like, just go ahead and just cut the cord, get somebody else in here.
I think they were trying to find somebody.
Oh yeah.
So Funny Bean says, "Yep," and we have done a good enough job, I guess. the game to stay a little bit longer. So we better make sure we keep, you know what I'm saying, coming with something before funny means like I'm done with those cats. I'm good. But but yeah, you're right, Wyatt. I mean, just what was the point? Just make the move, get him time to gel with the team. It wasn't really worth it, right?
Well, y'all knew that at the end of the season. So why was that a priority during draft and everything else? Somebody make it make sense here. It's not like you didn't know these things.
Well, I mean, like, look at the as far as Britton Covey, I mean, looking at the practice roster, you have like Greg Ward, Joseph Nagata. You could have brought up one of those two guys. I mean, Greg Ward, he's been here for years. You saying he couldn't have came in and played depth at wide receiver for one game or so? Like, come on now. We don't need Britton Covey.
This is very true. So, guys, I was going to do this a little different, but I feel like this is the perfect time to go ahead and shoot in this week 2 review with the Vikings. So, Diva, we gonna start with you with this.
No. We're gonna switch it up. We're gonna start with you first.
And I'm gonna be quiet. I can't go first.
Yes, you
I
can.
cannot go first. If I go first, y'all are not gonna have anything left to say. So please, this is not the week for me to go first. Trust me when I tell you.
That every game.
This is not the week for me to go first.
Yeah,
If y'all want me,
not the week.
if y'all want me to go first, you're not gonna have nothing left to say. So I'm trying to give y'all the opportunity to talk, and then I can say all the pluses and minuses that I have from the game because I have a lot. I watch these games twice to ensure that when we get on here, I'm ready. But if you want me to go first,
go ahead.
Hey man, go ahead.
Yeah,
we never get to see you go first.
Right.
So I'm gonna let y'all have the score because y'all got that, right? Y'all can talk about the score. Y'all can talk about the specific stats from the game. That's fine. I'm gonna talk about what I saw from these two $5,000 eyes or 2,500 eyes each, right? LASIK surgery, all that. That's why the glass is gone. Okay. So watching the game, I see an offense that didn't know what on earth to do, right? I saw a quarterback that got a couple of big throws, but if you watch, he's reading, but it's like he's reading, and then trying to make a play. Play calling. When your quarterback's kind of not in the rhythm yet, take a shot down the field, throw a couple of screens, some safe passes, involve all of your weapons. It went like this at the beginning of the game. Dallas Goedert, A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert. Okay, we're done with Dallas Goedert. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, DeAndre Swift, Devontae Smith, run the ball. A.J. Brown. Oh, Dallas Goedert's there. Oh, never mind. Devontae Smith, run the ball. It was supposed to be Devontae Smith. It was nobody. It was supposed to be the backup tight end. It was nobody. It's just we're doing a poor job of spreading things out between the run and the pass and to the different weapons. We're allowing other teams not even to dictate, but to understand what we're going to do. If Jalen Hurts throws the ball to Devontae Smith, that's who you need to guard the next 5 or 6 plays that we have on offense. If Jalen Hurts throws the ball to A.J. Brown, that's who you need to guard the next 5 or 6 plays. If he throws the ball to Dallas Goedert, that's who you need to guard the next 5 or 6 plays. If he turns around, hands it off, that's what you need to watch for the next 5 or 6 plays. We're not mixing things up and keeping defenses guessing. We're allowing them to say, oh, they're locked in on X right now. They're locked in on this receiver, this tight end, the run game, whatever. We're not mixing it up. We're not just saying, hey, take it in, pull it out, see the field. You want to run, you want to throw, whatever. The one positive and how I know that they watch this show, and y'all can't tell me nothing different. We saw a tush push this week. Did we not see a tush push? Did we see a tush push in week 1?
No.
So they're watching. I'm telling y'all, somebody's watching on the burner account. They gotta be watching this. But defensively, Turnovers saved our asses on defense because there were several different times we just let guys go. The middle is really a problem.
Yes.
If I'm a defense, the middle is a problem, right?
Yes.
That front line, 52 yards a game average for the first 2 games. You're not running the ball in the Philadelphia Eagles. You better beat us in that soft. We're a donut. Our defense is a donut. It just came to me. We're a donut. Nice, crispy edges. Nice, crispy inside, but that middle is
That middle-
always
That's a perfect way to describe
a
it.
donut. We are a donut on defense right now. Now, once we get some guys back, maybe we'll be like donut holes. Maybe we'll put like a donut hole in the donut so it won't be as big of an area. But right now, we're a donut. If you throw in that middle, 9 times out of 10,
You gonna get
something's good's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to be a catch
Mhm.
or a penalty.
Mhm.
And that
Especially if
can't
you have a
happen.
tight end going across
Yeah.
the middle.
Right. Exactly.
And don't have the nerve, the audacity to run a little shift play where the tight end would brush off on the wide receiver. They both gonna be open. Pick who you want to throw it to. You want to throw the right or left. So that has to be worked on. That's something that we have to fix. But what's good to me about it, what's very good to me about it is I did see some improvement even after all that. Because I had to keep in mind we did have backups playing in some positions where they don't normally play. Josh Joby, they said, oh, Josh Joby over there, throw the ball. You know what I'm saying? And just like us, I mean, we talk about how many yards the Jetta had, right? He didn't get all those yards on Slay. They moved him around. Because all you had to do was put him in a slot. Jay Jetta over on one of them linebackers or safeties we got playing right now. Shoot, I might take myself if it's 5 yards or left. Right now over them. Like they just so we did win a game, and I don't want to overlook that, and I don't want to push past that. But there's a lot of things that we should be concerned about. I actually talked to a couple of Eagles fans this week, and they were like, "Oh, you act like the way we playing right now, we can win the Super Bowl." Blah blah blah. I'm like, the way we playing right now, we can't win a playoff game. What are you talking about? The Super Bowl playoffs?
Mm-hmm.
But-
Playoffs.
Yeah,
Right.
playoffs. But we're not there yet, right? So we got plenty of weeks to kind of fix these things. But just things I noticed when I watch. Like I watch the score, of course. But for me, it's like, how are we playing? Even if we lose, like, how are we playing? Are we playing good? And they're just getting like fluke plays on us, a bad penalty call here or there. We're not gonna talk about bad penalty calls because we said we're gonna leave it alone. But bad penalty calls here or there, just that special play that you just can't prepare for, or are they just able to really carve us up? We've been carved up pretty badly in the middle. Like I said, we got turnovers this game. We do not allow you to run the ball, so it makes it even more mind-boggling because you're not asking these guys to be run support because they can't. We don't let teams run. So all you got to do, linebackers and safeties, all you got to do is cover. Can someone please cover for me?
And wrap up. Wrap
Please.
up.
Mm-hmm.
Wrap up.
You know why they can't wrap up? Because they're not even close enough to wrap up because they can't cover. Please.
I'm just
help us.
tired of seeing y'all playing 2 and 3 yards off your man. And you wonder why you get burnt. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will say this. The people that we have in now, in that middle, they need to play off. Because if they play on them, it might be a 5-yard gap by the time they catch the ball. So they might need to play off. But they still, I mean, it doesn't matter really if they play off or not. They get dogged. And we say next man up, but we got to have more talented guys as the next man up. Like, we don't have a guy to replace Nakobe Dean halfway. Right? He's out. We don't have anybody to do the things he does. Close. Anywhere near close to it. So it's like Dean and then whoever we got behind him. We can't have that. We got to have guys that have more talent on those back positions too. Dean comes out. He needs to take some plays out. He hurt or whatever. We still should have somebody that can go in and really adjust that defense and get it right. And we just don't. So These are things that should have been addressed in the preseason and off season. They weren't properly addressed, but we've never really focused on linebackers, so I'm not surprised by that. We've normally been a little better at safety, and that's the thing. Safety's not much better right now without Blankenship. I mean, all these people talked about how, Blankenship, he ain't gonna start this year. Blankenship, he's not that guy. He's gonna lose his job. All I heard from a lot of people was, he's gonna lose that job, man. He ain't gonna be the guy there. But then what happens when we get in the game? We need Blankenship. He's not there, right? They playing Justice Evans over Sidney Brown, which confusing to me. I'd rather have it be different, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, Evans had some decent plays in there, but they were mostly like some special team stuff and everything. It's like, I don't understand it. Keep him on special teams, but put Sidney Brown in there on defense.
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, just a lot of misuses of guys, a lot of people out of position at times. Offensive line looked frustrated. And Jason Kelce even said, yeah, we're frustrated. We're kind of on the edge a little bit because we're like, we should be better than this. It shouldn't be this much of a drop off with a staff continuation. You've got a guy that was the quarterback coach last year. You should have been absorbing information and learning while you were watching. You had the whole off season to prepare yourself. And the plays that you're calling Brian Johnson, bro, just do better. Really do better. DeAndre Swift and Devontae Smith deserve so much credit for taking the same plays and being able to do different things with them. Because DeAndre Swift was running the same play for 2/3 of the game. He just kept making it work because that line is that good. Devontae Smith, both of those catches were pretty much the same formation. So those things worked. I'm so happy they did. And I feel like Hurts is doing what he's been asked to do. I feel like what he's being asked to do is not what he needs to be being asked to do. And that's another concern of mine. Now, I'm going to stop here because I have several more things, but we only do about an hour here. So I'm going to stop there.
You want to go, Diva? Or you want me to go?
Yeah, I can go. Yeah, the whole play calling in the first half was garbage. Again, Brian Johnson was just pulling plays out the bag. He abandoned the running game a few times. Now, I love Jalen Hurts. Like, that's my dude. But I feel like as long as you've been playing, you had a spectacular year last year. If you see these play calls that Brian Johnson is calling, or Nick, or whoever in the world is calling them, it's not working. I feel like you're veteran enough to make certain decisions to audit the play. You are the one out there reading the defense. You're the one out there on the field and can see it face to face. They on the sideline, so it looks a little different from the sideline to you being face to face. And really, I mean, we could probably put him in the Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes category. So that means that you need to be making better and smarter plays. And if you see what they doing is not working, you got to get it together. You got to get your boys together, because some of the stuff that I saw him do, like, it's like he's not scanning the field right now like he should be. He's missing a lot of things. He's missing a lot of people open. He is looking at one target, and sometimes he has his eyes on the target where they're like, oh, well, that's where he's going, so let me go cover that person. And then I don't know what it is with him holding on to the ball, or I guess he feel like maybe he can run with his legs. Bruh, stop running. Bruh. Like, we got way too many running backs for you to be running like that still. You got to do a little bit better, because it's like you degressed a little bit from last year to this year. And even with us having a different offensive coordinator, the dude was with you last year. So it really shouldn't be no different. I need for you to go out there and take control of the field. If they're not going to take control of the field, play calling. That's my thing with Jalen. The defense, yeah, that middle is soft as I don't know what. There's still some things that's got to be worked on with there, but I feel a little more better with the defense than I do the offense right now, because I don't feel like the offense should be struggling the way that they're struggling. I don't feel like the defense should have to carry them like they've been carrying them. Thankfully, they've been able to carry them. But I don't feel like that the defense should be carrying them. Now I'm glad we decided to go to the running game, but I'm still also trying to figure out why was it just Swift? Like y'all got like a whole island full of running backs. I think I saw Rashad Penny like one time. So I'm not understanding what's going on with that. Why are you not getting fresh running backs in every so many play calls? Like I'm still confused. Like I think I asked y'all, I was like, where's Penny?
I can answer that question. Penny right now sucks. That's why
He
he's so far on the
looked
depth
pretty
chart.
slow on
He
those
looked
couple of handoffs he
slow,
had.
and he had that bad penalty on what was not even necessary for a hold. So you gotta remember this particular game, and just this game, Boston Scott went into the
He had
concussion protocol, and then Gainwell didn't play because he was hurt. So you only left him with Penny. And I thought, another play I've been wrong. I've been wrong too so far. I've been wrong on that dude that masquerades as a backup quarterback, and I've been wrong on Rashard Penny so far. Rashard Penny does not look like he's ready to play in the NFL right now. And I hope it's just him slowly getting back because he was hurt last year. But right now, when I saw him in the game, I was like, yeah, we need to go back to Swift.
That's why he was inactive week 1.
It makes sense. It makes sense now.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to that, if you know that, what were y'all looking at in practice that you let Trey Sermon? Then we should have kept Trey Sermon. We shouldn't even went and traded him and just kept Trey Sermon.
That's what I was thinking the whole time. I was like, I would much rather have Trey Sermon in over Rashad Penny right now.
So
it's ridiculous.
I don't know. It's scary. I'm telling you that it's scary to see what's going on. It's like we degressing from last year. Like we're not gonna get nowhere this year. Like not if we don't change some things. Like, and then the thing about it, like you said, Reed Blankenship. So he took it when CJGJ was out. We don't have anybody to be that type of talent now that Reed is out. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't go add depth like we should have, so that when players get hurt, we got enough depth that we know they can come in and take that spot. So I'm not understanding why people didn't think Reed Blankenship or why he would lose his job, because bruh balled out last year when CJGJ was hurt for a month. He balled out the first 2 games. Then he got hurt. And then let's not talk about street clothes Maddox. Like, I love Maddox. Maddox play hard, but that boy cannot stay healthy, and he is causing us a lot of money and a lot of trouble because we need him out there, but he can never stay out there longer than 2 or 3 games. Now he didn't tore his pec, and then he's gonna be out for who knows how long. Come back
all year.
Yeah. I'm
done. I'm done with Maddox. I'm sorry. Like, you're taking up roster space and money space, and you can't stay healthy. Like,
yeah, but I'm at the point now where they should start reevaluating his future here. Like, bro, it's been years now, and you still just can't stay healthy. It's like, we got to do something different.
We do. But yeah, I mean, that's my thought on the game. Like, there's no way we should let them come back like that. Like, they really almost came back and won that game. Like, really.
And that was, keep in mind, the white Dak Prescott in prime time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And he looked good. We made him look decent. Normally he's horrible at prime time, but Eagles found some way to make him look pretty good.
Just like we did with Wack and Cheese week 1.
Right. And you see what the Dolphins did with him. I just can't. Why? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to dive in on the defense nearly as much because I wasn't nearly as upset with them. Because, I mean, it was just kind of a makeshift defense there in the secondary. And for at least the first half, they did their jobs. They gave the offense more than enough opportunity to put this game out of reach for the Vikings. And this game should have been over at halftime. But this offense was just so dysfunctional they couldn't do a damn thing in the first half. I mean, the defense had multiple turnovers and were able to get the ball back 3 and outs. The defensive line was just eating on Kirk Cousins and that makeshift offensive line they had. There was no excuse for us not to just mollywop this team. But man, you gave them some of that momentum, and that's where they were able to kind of come back there in that second half. And there was a couple decent plays by some of the guys we were able to bring in, but unfortunately, that offense was just so bad that it just brought the Vikings right back into it. And it all starts with the play calling and Brian Johnson. I don't even know if it's just the play calling or just the plays now, because I mean, you can't see too much just watching it live, but it doesn't look like they're scheming anybody open. It doesn't look like there's anybody open on any of these plays. There's no creativity to them at all. So I don't know if Brian Johnson is like scheming these up, if Nick Sirianni's doing them, but there's a huge drop off from last year to this year for Shane Steichen. You look at that Colts offense, they're running the same damn offense we were last year, and it's working with a rookie quarterback and with, talent way lesser than ours, and we can't even march down the field and score a touchdown barely on a half managed defense. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And it's like Cool was saying, we need to stop just giving one person the ball and then switching it. Because I mean, everybody's conversation after last week, Dallas Goedert didn't get a catch, and they're force feeding him the ball. And then AJ Brown throws his little temper tantrum, which was just, completely just overblown by media and everything. And then what do? We just go force it to AJ over and over and over because he wants a touchdown or he wants more yards. And you can't do that. You got to help your quarterback get into a rhythm, make him feel comfortable. And just Hurts did not look comfortable at all, at least in that first half. Looked like he kind of settled in the second half because we were just running the ball. But I'm just glad they got away from the QB runs because that shit was predictable at the very end. I was like, oh, he's just going to run it here. Hurts is going to pull it and run. And it's every other play, it seemed like that was happening. It's like, this is not creative. The defense knows you're going to run it. This isn't going to work. And then he's just holding the ball too long, taking sacks that aren't needed, throwing in the double coverage for that terrible interception. I was like, this is not Hurts. I don't like this. It just doesn't look like he's comfortable running in this offense that Brian Johnson has set up for him. So I don't like it. It seemed to me like Nick Sirianni took play calling over in that second half. I'm not sure if that was the case or not, but something changed in that second half where it kind of worked a little bit. They were able to get the ball to some of the receivers between the runs, but the running game was just opening up the passing game for us at that point, it seemed like. But I don't know. It's Brian Johnson needs to figure this out and figure it out quick because, like you're saying, we cannot expect this team to go and even make the playoffs or just do anything in the playoffs at this point. I mean, you're looking around. I know some other teams are struggling, like elite teams are struggling, but this is not what we're used to. And with all the talent that we have, Swift, Goddard, AJ, everybody, we should not be having this much trouble getting the ball to some of these receivers. And you have weeks and weeks to prepare for this defense. Like you knew the DC for the Vikings was a disciple of Belichick. So you knew he was going to kind of throw stuff at you that Belichick was throwing at you in week one. Why weren't you preparing around what they were going to be throwing at you, what you thought was going to be thrown at you? It just, I don't know. It just seems lazy.
All right.
I'm done. You can go ahead. Cool. And I see you heating up.
Player Pariah of the game, guys. I need one of y'all to go first.
Man, Swift is my player. Pariah is the whole dang on offense besides Swift. Brian Johnson included.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, Swift's definitely the player of the game. I'm giving Brian Johnson the Pariah of the game. If I have to give it to a player, I'd hate to do it, but I gotta give it to Hurts if I have to.
You can give it to Brian Johnson.
Yeah,
probably the most deserving.
I'll give it to both. I'll give it to Hurts and Brian Johnson.
Fine with me. I'm gonna give my player of the game to Devontae Smith because he had some big plays when we needed him to put points on the board. Felt like no one else wanted to put points on the board besides Swift and him. Mm-hmm. And for my Pariah of the game, that whole inside of the donut is the Pariah. Those linebackers and safeties, you're all the Pariah. The inside, the donut hole. Those are the Pariahs for me. Because no matter what the coach calls, it can't simply be stand there and let the other team dog you. It can't just be never switch off. It can't just be don't communicate. If that's what he's calling it, he needs to be fired today, and he's not calling it. I don't believe that.
No, Swift even said they got to play better. Slay.
Yeah, so that's my my Pariahs. All right, so before we finish off here with this week's game, and I'm glad we had the time to let our feelings out about last week because I feel like it's good therapy for us here to be able to get our feelings out and our fellow Eagles universe, nation, galaxy, feel free if you watch this on replay, you're watching this live or whatever, to give us your concerns and your unhappiness with what we look like right now, too, because that's what we're here for. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna move on to injury news. Um, I'm not sure if we have yet, but there are any updates on any of the injury players? I know we have until Monday, so the good news is we still have time. But we did have a comment here from Sam. He says, I still think they should have kept Dicker as their punter. He punted and kicked as a senior in college. So I think the problem with that move, Sam, was he wanted to be a kicker because he understood that there's more bread in being a kicker than a punter. So I think he did not want to stay as a punter. And we already had Jake Elliott as a kicker. So I think he used us to get himself another job, and we used him until we got Jake Elliott back. So it was a mutually beneficial situation.
Yeah. And Jake Elliott's been the most consistent part of this offense.
Yeah. Right, because they didn't want to play Swift week 1. So, yeah. I did want to quickly touch, before we get to injuries, on A.J. Brown. I've said this in several different places, and I'll say this here. A.J. Brown is a alpha receiver. He wants the ball in his hands. It's not about if I get a touchdown. It's not about how many yards. It's about, bruh, it's been like a whole quarter since you targeted me. What are you doing? Like, bruh, I'm here to catch balls. How am I going to catch the ball if you don't throw it to me?
I'm Mr. Always Open.
Yeah. I mean, I'm 1K always open, baby. You see me on IG. You see me on X. Come on, man. Give me the rock. I think it was more like that. And then, Nick's got to run over. Oh, come on, guys. And that's two best friends talking, right? I don't know about y'all, but when me and my best friend having discussions sometimes, it looked like we about to fight. We're not, but it looks like that.
And I think he was mad too because he had that. That was a PI call they didn't call. I think he was mad about that too.
Oh yeah, he was definitely mad about that PI. After that, man. So that first touchdown, Rashad Penny blew that.
Yeah, that was a good throw by Hurts. Putting it right where it needed to be too.
That was one of his better throws of the game, I think. And then they come over the next side, hit A.J. Brown at the seam on the other side. Dude just grabs his arms and beats him up, and they don't call anything. So I mean, don't take it like, oh, he's being a diva and that. Don't try to do that with AJ. AJ just want the ball thrown his way sometimes. Like, he's out there to play, and you can't make catches if you don't get the ball. That's all his problem was, and I agree with him. I mean, some people, AJ Brown is this, and AJ Brown, he's showing his true colors. He sure is. He wants to catch the ball. Shame on him for being a wide receiver and wanting to catch the ball. Shame on him.
Yeah. He want to catch the ball because he know he's gonna catch that mug.
Give him the opportunity, and he will too.
That's why he had the Mr. Always Open sign on his locker. If y'all noticed, it used to be 1, now it's 2.
And remember, every time Devontae Smith makes a great play or a touchdown, who's the first person that gets to him? The first person.
AJ.
Number 11. Number 11 to be there before the other players that were closer. So it's not I want the ball over him. It's just, bruh, these cats can't really hold me. Can you throw the ball in my direction a couple of times?
Yeah.
Can I feel like I'm part of the game plan?
Right.
AJ should have been grabbing at Brian Johnson, not Hurts. Like, bruh.
Tackled him. He should have gave him a spear and a gore and a curb stomp. But I get it. But I mean, he talking to the dude throwing the ball, like, bro, ain't you the one throwing the ball? Like,
right. You the one out here seeing what's going on, not Brian Johnson.
Yeah. So I mean, to me, that's just what it was. All right. So Diva, injuries.
Oh, so y'all know we got Avonte Maddox on the injury list.
Yeah, he's on that sweet IR.
A little earlier than scheduled. But
yeah.
A little longer than normal, but definitely
yeah, a little longer than normal too.
He's on what they have determined to be IR3. What that means is like you're not coming back.
Yeah, you done.
Done, so
yeah.
That's what he is.
Same thing with CJGJ. That's crazy. It happened in the same weekend, like the torn pec.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I hate it for him. So, he talked a lot of smack, but I hate that he's out like that.
Same.
I don't really see any new update. Kenneth Gainwell is questionable. Reed Blankenship is questionable. Bradbury is questionable. Boston Scott and Quez Watkins. Other than that, we still got N'Kobe Dean, Roderick Johnson, of course, Zach McPherson, and Sean Bradley. But other than that, we don't really have no more injuries.
Yeah, I saw like Nick's
So, yeah,
press
no more-
conference. He was being vague, of course, but he said like everybody has a chance to play this week.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like my guess is Quez won't because they activated Britton Covey to the roster.
Right.
But I would assume, unless it's really bad, Bradbury should be out there. He should be out of concussion protocol.
Yeah, he should be out. He's probably
We need him out there.
been pushed back a little bit because they had the game and everything, and they don't have to really report anything as of yet because we don't play till Monday.
Yeah.
But I would expect to have Bradbury back, possibly Blankenship as well. If we can get Bradbury and Blankenship back, that is a big plus. Scott, and Gainwell, I'd like to have at least one of those guys because, like I said, Penny deserves to be at the very end of the bench right now. Work your way up, but right now, bro, you are the fourth running back on this team, bro. I saw him on that field. I'm like, oh, because you know, we was like, yo, Penny didn't play week 1. What are they doing? Blah blah blah. I see him out there week 2. I'm like,
they changed him. Oh no.
What had happened?
What did you doing?
What happened was I thought it was getting a different Penny. That's what had happened. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm afraid that they're going to still go with the running back by committee, but like, bruh, how can you not just roll with Swift as your RB1? Like, you have to at this point. And I mean, obviously, you can't use him every single down, but he should be your go-to. And then, put in Gainwell with Boston Scott here and there on certain situations. But we've seen enough out of Swift. We've seen what this dude can do.
Right. So that means Jalen Hurts don't need to be running.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
unless like the play breaks down and then he takes off, like where he should be running.
Well,
he shouldn't be just running every other play.
Y'all are more anti Jalen Hurts running than I am. I'm anti a large amount of Jalen Hurts running, and I am 1,000% anti Jalen Hurts up the middle running.
Yeah, I don't want to see that.
The only time I want to see him run up the middle is if there is a hole. Like, remember when they played the Steelers last year? And he held the ball for like 5 seconds, and he still had like a 15-yard run because the hole was so big. Mm-hmm. Holes like that, cool. But when it's tight, I don't want to see him run. I think for me, it's just situational running. Like, I don't want him running 10, 15 times a game. Yeah, I've noticed that y'all don't want that either. I get it. But I don't mind him running some. But more like you were saying, maybe we draw up a play or two. I count the tush pushes as runs too. So hopefully the tush push is back as a staple.
Yeah, I just don't want to see them running like how they've been running them these first 2 weeks.
I don't either.
Up the middle, like as much as they are. Like there's no reason for it. Like I can understand having certain plays for him to do that if he has a certain look, but man, like you're forcing him the ball when he shouldn't be. Like that's how you get QBs hurt.
Right, and I just feel like now they've kind of figured that out, that he's going to try to run up the middle, and that's how he got stuck last week. Like, I thought he was gone. Yeah. I was like, oh, man.
My boy's dead.
I thought he was a goner.
That dude from the Patriots hit Jalen Hurts, and I was like, oh. I was like, well.
We can't have that. We can't afford no Marcus Mariota, y'all. We can't afford that.
Man. He hit him. And I thought Marcus Mariota was about to come in the game. I was like, well, our season's over. Dallas, here goes the division. Dallas and Washington, here you go.
That I don't want to see that. I don't.
No.
If you gotta try to run a little bit to get a first down and get halfway there, okay. But that running up the middle, nah, bro. And then that getting sacked in the back, nah, bro, because he got toe up one time. Like he got toe up in the back. Lost some yards too. So yeah, throw it out. Just throw it away. Just throw it away and avoid getting hit. That's all I got to say.
That's what Brian Johnson needs to do to the playbook. Just throw it out. Start from scratch.
Everything. Go find the playbook from last year and use this.
Yeah. Go to the locker and get the old playbook.
I need for him to actually sit down and really scout the teams and come up with plays. Because I'm telling you, my boy just be going in the bag and just be, let's play, y'all.
You know what? You know what scares me though? I think he might be doing the research, and this is the best he's coming up with. That's what scares me.
What really scares me is if this issues continue continues to linger through what, like week 7, week 8, week 9, and there's still no changes. Like the Eagles organization is the type of organization to stick with this dude until the end. They're not going to take this. They're not going to fire him. They're not going to take his powers away from him.
With Jonathan Gannon. We know
Exactly. The most that they're going to do, we going to bring a consultant in to talk with Brian Johnson to figure this out. That's the most they're going to do. We're going to bring in an offensive consultant to help Brian Johnson out. They're not going to fire him. They're not going to take play calling away from him. And that's what really worries me if this doesn't get fixed.
They need to bring in the consultant week 0.
Yeah.
Real. But
But it's week 2.
Yeah.
We saw some improvement, especially in that second half of this game. So, I mean, hopefully you have a long week here. Go back to the drawing board, watch some film.
Listen.
Get your consultant.
Learn from your mistakes.
Listen, y'all, if we lose to Baker Mayfield, y'all don't want to be here next week. If we lose to Baker Mayfield. That's all I got to say. Because we talk about Baker Mayfield. Yeah, that's all we can do is just shake your head. We talk about Baker Mayfield, and he did ball last week. So I don't want y'all to think that he's a bum. He balled last week. He balled a little bit in St. Louis. So
we cannot overlook this Bucs team going into this week 3. We can't. They scrappy. They're rolling with the underdog shit we've been rolling with how many years now. Like that everybody counted them out before the season even started because of Baker Mayfield being QB1. So they have nothing to lose. So they just going out here and they just fighting. And unless his offense doesn't get fixed, this could be one of those trap games. This is one that we could easily lose just going in here and playing how we've been playing.
I spit flames. I have spit flames on the name of Baker Mayfield. I have called it trash, the worst quarterback in the NFC behind whoever plays for the Cardinals. I mean, I have said some nasty things about Baker Mayfield, and he might make me eat him. And if he does, I'll go back on all those shows where I talk trash about him, and I'll eat my words. But that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, it has to happen first.
But you got to show me that you are ready to be a big dog in the NFL. Top 15, top 12.
Don't let him show us against us now.
We've been torn up by the Buccaneers terrible QBs before. We've had Ryan Fitzmagic coming out and throwing 300 on us, coming out with gold chains in the press conference afterwards. We've seen terrible QBs come out and do this to us.
Biggest concern in this game is one Texas A&M alumni named Michael Evans. Mike Evans went nuts last week. And if he can do that against a decent defense, just think what he can do against a donut. All he got to do is figure out how to get in that donut area.
Out. Gone. And he got some legs on him, y'all.
Yeah.
You ain't watch that man play. He been playing for a while.
And then what's his name? Rashad Jones, their running back.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't allowed a lot of yards to running back. Some people might be why you were mentioning running back because he can catch. So you can put him in the slot, let him run through that middle and catch.
Gone.
Yeah. And you also have Godwin too.
Yeah.
To watch out
for. You got
for.
a donut hole right there in the middle. All you gotta do is get somewhere to the donut, and it's dangerous for us right now. Blankenship comes back. Maybe he starts slapping people through there with a nice hard hit. Maybe they like alligator arms start coming through there a little bit. But
yeah.
As of right now, it's got to be a concern against the Bucs. The Bucs defense isn't as good as it once was, but it isn't horrible. They did lose some talent, but they still have some guys there. We should be able to get off, but again, we already talked about we should have been able to get off last week, and we never really got off, right? We honestly, I mean, I'll say it. I don't care. The reason we won the game last week is because Justin Jefferson fumbled the ball through the end zone at the end of the first half.
Yep.
That's why we won the game last week.
Yep. There was touchback.
That touchback. That's why we won that game. We got that 6, and then the extra point, we may not have won that game.
And that the D was able to come back.
In prime time. Kirk Cousins. Prime time almost beat us.
Almost threw for 400 yards while doing it.
Right.
Kirk Cousins, a.k.a. the White Dak Prescott. almost threw for 400 yards and beat us in prime time. It's a guy whose whole career the stigma has been he can't show up in prime time, but he can show up against a donut in prime time, huh?
Yep. Yep.
Special teams. My concerns with special teams is just that they're playing like they're special, not in a good way.
Man, we had a good special teams. I don't know how long, y'all. I
Definitely have. What up, Barry?
What up, Barry?
What's happening?
Yeah, I don't know about those special teams. I don't know. We ain't had good special teams in. I can't tell you last time we had good special teams because I don't know.
Yeah, we've got to be able to just use the right guys on special teams. Just get some guys that can play, man. And if they're just for special teams, that's fine. Or if they're the end of the depth chart, that's fine. Greg Ward has to be better at special teams than some of these guys we get out there.
Yeah.
Britton Covey, man.
I blame it on the coach too, because I don't know. I don't know what he be coaching or during the week on special teams. I don't know. But he garbage. He was garbage last year.
Oh yeah, definitely. Thank you, Lions.
Thanks, Lions.
Lots of nice pieces from you guys. One Darius Slay, senior. One
Swift.
I always want to say DeAndre Swift.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you for that as well. And I'm sure there's somebody I forgot because Lions like give us good pieces too. So appreciate y'all definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we gave y'all CJ. I think he had like one sack that first game. I don't know what he did last week.
He had a good couple games until he got hurt. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you just hate to see him go out like that.
Yeah.
But the type of player he is.
Technically give you CJ, but I guess not.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Don't forget Jalen Carter. Hey, but you can't. But here's the thing with that one though, Barry. Here's the thing with that. Y'all did decide that you were going to go and draft a running back, right? That was y'all that did that. So once you did that, you know you couldn't keep Swift. But y'all didn't want to pay Swift. That's what you did that for. So we just did y'all a favor actually there, and we took a guy that y'all didn't want, right, and gave you compensation for him, and he would have walked in the year for nothing. So actually, you should be thanking us for DeAndre Swift. You're welcome. I can't even say that with a straight face. He does also say he calls us a penalty that hurt us too. Well, I mean, CJGG will get a penalty, bro. Yeah, he's an aggressive guy.
Very aggressive.
That y'all lost him because
that's the type of dude you want on your squad, though.
Yeah. And Jalen Carter, though, real talk, every team that passed on Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
Kicking themselves right now. And by the end of the season, every team that passed on Nolan Smith.
Yeah.
You're not gonna like what you did. But keep doing it though. I just keep doing it. Keep sleeping. Yeah. Keep staying away from Georgia players. They're not good, y'all. Y'all need one of them on y'all team. They're not good. Yeah, good. Go get some Ohio State quarterbacks or something. Y'all want those. Y'all want that. Yeah, I just try to help y'all out. Y'all want that. Y'all don't want that type of headache and smoke. Y'all like y'all can do better. All right, guys. So we'll start with you, Diva. Any thoughts about this Bucks game on offense, defense, or special teams? I know we kind of went over it, but just in case there may be something that you were thinking about that you forgot that came back to you.
Special teams, I already know ain't gonna do nothing, so ain't no point in saying about them. But I do expect this offense to be better. Nick, if you got to call the plays this game, call plays. Somebody got to. Jalen, please, my brother, you got to do better. Like, you're not looking comfortable. If you're not looking comfortable, you need to go to your coaches and have a conversation with them so that we can fix this. Because we need you. We need you to be able to deliver that ball like you're supposed to, and switch up your target. Stop throwing to the same person. Like, come on, Jalen. Last year you was throwing to everybody. Like, we didn't even know who you was gonna throw it to. This year it's just you tunnel vision. And I need for you to be able to scan the field a little better because your scanning the field is off this year, bro. And defense, I just hope we get Reed Blankenship back so we kind of fix that middle. Until then, I hope we can make some trades so that we can eventually get a better middle. But I do expect us to have a good game. I hope. And the reason why we shouldn't, we do got to watch out for Baker Mayfield though, because he can throw and he can run a little bit. But overall, we should win this game.
Wyatt, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much what Diva said. I do think that our defensive line needs to do work like they were doing against the Vikings here. Make Baker Mayfield uncomfortable as possible. Help that secondary out a little bit. Hopefully, we can get Reed Blankenship and Bradbury both back. I feel like just having those two back will help the defense tremendously. I mean, there's still going to be some issues with the middle of that field, but I don't think nearly as much with at least Reed Blankenship there in the middle. But yeah, I mean, the main eyes are going to be on that offense and what it's going to look like. I mean, start running the ball like we saw in that side. You don't need to do it nearly as much or as many times as you did in a row, like you did in that Vikings game, but at least run that ball, open up that pass game a little bit, get creative. Don't be afraid to take shots downfield. I don't know. I just want to see some more consistency out of this offense going into this game, but I do believe we should be coming out on Monday night with a dub though.
Yeah. So I'm gonna answer Barry's question here. He says I'm late, but what's up with Hurts and AJ?
No.
Nothing. There's just AJ like, bro, I need the ball. Like, I mean, I ain't got to have 1,000 yards, 100 yards every game, but we can't go quarters without you even throwing the ball at me. Come on, what's going on?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much that. There's so many things that I could say about this game. There's so many ways I could go. We don't have time for me to do that. We really don't, because nobody wants to be here till 11 o'clock. So I'll just simply say, man, we need to play up to the best potential that we have now. We need to really focus on the things that we aren't doing well, and hopefully somebody that can have the ability to call plays offensively is going to continue to run the ball. So I struggled as I was watching the game the first time and watching it back, thinking to myself, who could be calling all these run plays? And honestly, the only person I can think of is Brian Johnson. And the reason I say that is, remember 2 years ago when Nick Sirianni was calling plays and we hardly ever ran the ball. So I feel like it's got to be Brian Johnson. But can he actually, maybe him and Nick need to get together, right? We're still going to run the ball like we were, but I need you to spread the ball and allow Jalen to be Jalen in the passing side of things, because we're running the ball excellently, right? And I just don't see that from Nick Sirianni. And I could be wrong, but I just don't see that based on his history as a play caller. Mm-hmm. But I do see this new guy saying we got to run the ball because the other part isn't working. But Johnson, just work it together. Just blend in the passing game. Play action. It's going to be there. After you run the ball 3 or 4 times, a couple of little slants and stuff like that, play action is going to open up. When it opens, just hit them with it, right? If it doesn't work, oh well. But use the play action, use the run game. Dallas Goedert, just in case you didn't remember from last year, a monster in the screen game. So if you're throwing the ball over there behind A.J. Brown and one of your linemen, like a pulling Jason Kelsey, he's going to get you 15, 20 yards most of those plays, right? So just use some of the things that work, man. Let Jalen infuse some planning with you into the playbook, a little pizzazz, a little bit of that, what makes Jalen. And my man, Sean Desai, all I'm going to say to you, brothers, I hope you get your side healthy, man. Like, I can't even say if you're bad, right? Because you don't have the pieces. And I can't fault you for not having the pieces when they had nothing to do with you. So just do the best you can with what you got, bro. That's what my mom used to say to me when things are bad. Just do the best of what you got. Right. That's all I can really say to Sean Desai. And Nick Sirianni, you need to get with your coordinators and have a powwow and boost them up. And you can fire your special teams coach and find somebody who can do the job correctly.
Yeah, that should have been done.
Just saying.
Right.
He came into this year, so we know you're not going to get rid of anybody during the season because you don't do things like that. But he needs to be replaced. Maybe his contract runs out after this year. I don't know. I don't even
hire a consultant. Help them
Right.
out a little bit. You need a special team consultant up in here now. Like, come on.
We need an offensive / special teams consultant. Just just get one guy for both, right?
Anybody know how to do special teams and offensive consultant?
But yeah, man, this
Jeez.
is a game we should win. We just got to make sure we're watching out for the wide receiver group. We got to make sure we can figure out something about that hole in the middle, and we got to score when opportunities come. And it's not always 7 points. Sometimes it's just 3. But I challenge the offense to try to put points on the board every drive. Right?
Mm-hmm.
If we can do that, I don't think there's a team that can beat us, even those ones that have the referees on their side. So I'm still not 100% over. I'm getting there, but I'm not over 100% over yet.
I know how it is, man.
Yeah, I'm working towards it, man. I'm trying to be a better version of me, but I'm not there all the way yet.
Especially after that hold on AJ, you're like, come on, that was blatant. That was even worse than the one in the Super Bowl. Come on now.
Right. Like he clearly batted his hand down before he even got to the ball.
Pretty much. So, guys, we're getting near that point. So, any final thoughts that you guys have before the game this coming Monday?
Brian, if we lose this game because of you, I'm coming for you, bro. That's my final thought. Period. I'm coming for your neck.
You're gonna want to check in on Wednesday next week if the same thing happens. If this offense looks like it did in weeks 1 and 2, you're gonna want to tune in next Wednesday because it's gonna be fire against Brian Johnson.
Yeah, pretty much.
So if we lose this game, there's a couple of things that can happen. If we are down in this game going into the fourth quarter, this is going to be what I'm going to be thinking. And then I want to let Tampa Bay Bucks Nation or the Dirty Pirates crew, whatever y'all call yourselves, which I remember one last thing.
I love it.
And with that being said, we have come to the end of the episode. Diva, would you like to let the people know where to find you?
Find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at CMCop1. You can find me on Instagram at CMCop1. And I got my own podcast. You can catch me on any platform that stream podcasts, Black Light Mass Incarceration Show, and I'm on YouTube.
I just want to say, formerly known as Twitter, ridiculous. So we're gonna drop a little something real quick for our partner, and then we're gonna come back. Wise gonna tell you where to find him, and we're gonna be out.
This is Brett, and you're watching Shady Sports Network. Tune in, hit that like button.
You might wonder, what do these guys do? Player signing announcements. I never in a million years thought you would actually come on to break this news. So without further ado, go ahead and tell everybody what happened today.
Yeah, man. I just had to work out with the Cincinnati Bengals. Finding me right out.
Without further ado, I'd like to announce that, I'll be taking my talents to Salina Liberty.
This just in, the Major League of Football is reportedly collapsing, unable to pay hotel room bills, with players being kicked out of their rooms and hotel managers asking them to leave voluntarily without issue.
All right. Wyatt, tell the people where to find you, sir.
Yes, sir. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Wyatt Regard and at Cinema Trip Reviews. You can also check me out on YouTube at my show Cinema Trip Reviews. Just dropped a new episode today. And every Wednesday, At 3 o'clock, you can check out a new review as well. So make sure to go like, share, and subscribe over there after this.
And I also just want to say, I'm not going to go through every show because we don't have time for all that. Make sure you follow me here. Make sure you're also following at Real Play Callers, youtube.com/@RealPlayCallers or playcallersportstalk.com/live. A lot dropping there for NFL Matchup Madness. On Saturday afternoon, for 24 hours, there's going to be a poll. What we're going to start doing is every game that's not one of the primetime games for that week, we're going to start doing a poll on there where all the contributors, even those that are not actually contributing, will have an opportunity, as well as everyone as part of the community, to go in and pick a game. We're going to add another game to the weekly schedule. Still doing the videos for the other people, those that do send them. But for those who want another opportunity to be live and want to interact more, that's going to be a place to check out. And that's going to be the community tab at playcallersportstalk.com/live or youtube.com/@realplaycallers. All right, good people. Make sure you hop in next week. You can find me doing something every day but Sunday. And we may pop up. We're still working through it, but we may pop up with a pregame show on Monday. We're going to see how things work out. But with that being said, we're done for the week.
Y'all take care.
Make sure you hop back in. #be elite. #fly Eagles fly. Make sure you tell 2 of your friends and 4 of your enemies about us, because just because they don't like you doesn't mean they won't like us.